Hey, I'm Kenny Lattimore, and you're watching Gospel Goodies TV.
Gospel Goodies.
Gospel Goodies. Gospel Goodies.
This is Gospel Goodies.
A Kenny Lattimore Christmas probably is far more boring than you guys think. It's not as. It starts out like very hectic, a lot of movement, a lot of preparation, making sure that things are in order, mainly for my son. But actually, when the holiday actually hits, it gets very chill, very laid back. I'm the kind of guy that wants to eat and sleep and enjoy great music and some TV and some movies, all that good stuff. And the traditional part, though, has shifted in the last few years because my family went through a transition. So my son usually is with his mom for Christmas, which all of the traditional activities take place. And we have a new tradition, is for me to take my son on a trip afterwards. We usually have like a father-son time, like right after. Whenever the holiday season comes around, and while it starts out with Thanksgiving and goes all the way through Christmas for me, but particularly Christmas, it's a great time for me personally to rest, to reflect, and to think about the things that really matter. Whether it's giving, that there are other people out there with other stories other than mine who need assistance and help, or even if they don't need assistance or help, it's nice to just give a human touch to people whom I may not have seen through the years, to those that are in need. It brings a time of just really sharing and caring about the humanity of people. I think that's kind of the bigger picture for me during the holiday every year. The way that I teamed up with Motown Gospel to do my album is interesting. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine named John Murray, who is in media, and we were like, this might be a good time to do a Christmas album, but how do we do it? John said, well, have you ever considered doing it as a gospel project? And I said, that sounds good to me because obviously the message is there, but it took me having a tour with Dave Koz, and I was talking to Dave Koz one day, and he said, okay, this is going to be a Christmas tour, I'm going to go on, blah, 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 I want you to be a part of it, but you have to have the album ready now. See, it's one thing when you're just talking conceptually about an album, but then Dave Koz was the one that put some deadlines on it. So I made some phone calls, and some friends of mine over at Motown said, you know what? Let me pitch the idea, and everybody loved the idea. So we just we grew it from that point and decided to solidify the deal. This is my first Christmas CD, and what really made me very excited about doing it, one was the whole idea that I could do it as a gospel project. I mean, I thought that was even more significant for me because I'm a person that has done maybe 4 to 5 different genres of music over the years, and every time I get an opportunity to really record one of them, it's a special moment. So for the gospel portion of my career and my life, because a lot of people may not know, but gospel music is a part of my life. It's not just an art form, it's just something I just do. Particularly the praise and worship format I absolutely love. So when I had the opportunity to do that, the most exciting part of it was bringing the gospel message, and then the challenge was for it to be an authentic Kenny Lattimore Christmas, was to be able to cross all of the genres that I could with the message being authentic. So it starts out sounding very R&B for those that have followed me there, and then it starts to transform from that to jazz, kind of funky jazz, to traditional jazz, like big band. And then it comes out of that into praise and worship, into almost like an aria with "Oh Holy Night." Into full praise and worship with "I Cry Holy," and the reason to celebrate, which is towards the latter end of the album. And those are some of the things that I thought about when we were pulling the album together with Aaron Lindsay, who produced it with me. Very, very talented guy, and I also needed to pick a producer that understood all of those genres too and knew how to do those well. I wrote "I Cry Holy" for the album thinking about what it would have been like if I was there right after Jesus was born, and my expectations, would I even understand what was happening as much as I wanted to? Because when I read the scriptures, I read that people thought that Jesus was going to come and be this conquering king, maybe against the Roman army and different kinds of things, when they considered him the Savior, as opposed to the Savior of our souls as we know him to be. So when he was born, I don't know that it was exactly what people expected. So I wanted to kind of set the stage for what it may have been like, but at the same time give reverence to its truth and its power. Interesting enough, my favorite Christmas song of all time was "O Holy Night." So that's absolutely one of my favorites. But I was just happy to be able to write songs because when you think of the Christmas tradition and knowing that it's going to come year after year after year, you want to write something that's timeless. And I'm not saying that that's an easy feat. That's actually not. So to have the opportunity to go in and try to focus and write something that I thought that people would pick up each year and listen to became quite a challenge. But I was excited for the challenge. What I would love for people to take away from the Christmas album is, of course, the message of Jesus Christ and the truth of him coming to save our souls. But at the same time, I want people to take away something emotional from it that draws them back every year, something that touches and connects with them and puts them in the spirit of the holiday season, so that when they think, Christmas is coming, I got to put that real love, a Christmas song right now, that's my jam, and start it off. And there's songs that I remember listening to growing up, like Nat King Cole. Whenever I heard the strings come on the Christmas song for Nat King Cole, you knew it was really Christmas. So that's what I want people to experience when they listen to this album. I want them to feel like, okay, now that Kenny Lattimore Christmas is on, it's really Christmas time. What we can probably expect next from me is a return to gospel, because now that we've really solidified a place in it with this Christmas album, not that I've done several gospel albums, but at this particular time, solidifying a place with the Christmas album and the single "I Cry Holy," I'm praying that the success of that brings me back to Motown to do a full gospel album, full worship album. In addition to that, I do have my vulnerable CD, so I continue the conversation about love and the real depth of love, not just the stuff that everybody else seems to easily sing about, but the hard stuff like pushing people away when you're in fear and doubt, and when you should be in relationships and out of fear, things like that. Not out of, sometimes we need to push people away, but there are times when we're dealing with our own insecurities and fears, and it sabotages possible blessings in our lives. And I'd love to do a jazz album, like a Frank Sinatra, Nat Cole, with a kind of big band feel to it. And what else? I feel like that's probably enough